Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Stakes action for the DRFBets race of the day for Thursday, May the 9th. It's the $100,000 flat out stakes. We're going 11 furlongs at beautiful Belmont Park. Remember the money back promo that we have on DRFBets for the race of the days this month. Bet $7 to win on any selection in the race of the day. Any race of the day this month. And if your horse runs second or third, you get your money back. Learn more promos.drf.com. Let's meet the field for the flat out. You can access free formulator past performances on the race of the day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post position order, beginning with one of the great bridesmaids in the business, Mike, the number one Monongahela, who has finished second in his last 4 races and second in 11 of 22.
Yeah, he's got that reputation firmly intact now. It's funny because it seemed like he might have been turning that around at the end of 2017. He won 3 of his last 4 starts at the end of 2017, but he hasn't won since. As you say, finished second best in his last 4 races. It's hard to find excuses for him, Dan. He does seem the horse who doesn't want to pass horses. I could not use this horse on top.
I guess you could look at his Excelsior one of 2 ways, and I'm pretty sure I know how you're going to look at it. He just couldn't get past the favorite. Lifes of Parlay is just sort of the positive view, and he ran really well. Maybe he was held up for a little bit at the quarter pole and came out, and the favorite just was too much for him. But I thought he was going right on by the favorite. And it looked like once he got to the saddlecloth of that horse, he seemed to pull himself up a little bit. And that's what bothers me about Monongahela.
That's exactly my feelings of that race as well, Dan. I thought he got a really good trip overall. He looked like in the final 8th he was going to make a real run at it. He didn't even make it close in that race, and I think that has a lot to do with him. I think there's maybe a little character flaw with this horse.
4th place finisher from that race did come back to win the Grade 3 Westchester last week with a 101 Beyer speed figure. Twisted Tom had a little bit of a hiccup last time out at Laurel. He was bet down to 2-1. We both liked him that day. He didn't break very well, and then he was down on the rail, and I wonder if that's enough of an excuse because, boy, he did not run well at all.
It was very disappointing. His effort overall was very disappointing, I thought. And you're right, maybe it was being inside. Maybe, just that they sent him up there to be part of the pace, maybe that at the end of the day wasn't the best idea in the world. It was a race that went to closers at the end of the day. I don't really want to make too many excuses for him. I did think his races 2 and 3 back were pretty good. And I do think he can turn it around, mostly because, Dan, I think he's a horse who wants more distance. I think more distance does not affect him at all, so I'm interested to see how he does as they stretch him all the way out.
And the winner of that last race, Cordmaker, came right back to win a 3X at Laurel with a 97 Beyer speed figure. G-Zap is up next. This horse ran into Mr. Dougie Fresh last time out at 100-1. That horse came back to win a 2X with a 95 Beyer speed figure. You're just getting the feeling that David Canizzo is taking a chance, hoping that this horse really appreciates distance. He is stretching all the way out. I can see him forwardly placed, but we could have had him for 42 back.
Yeah, exactly. And the last time that they tried this with him to go all the way out in distance on dirt, he faced Rocketry. He was 25 lengths behind at the end. He's got a lot of ground to make up.
Let's look at the Timeform US pace projector for this 11 furlong marathon, and the number 4 Tour de Force is projected to make the lead. I wouldn't be surprised if G-Zap the 3 is hustled out of there, but I do expect Tour de Force at some point on the backstretch to take over the lead. Now, maybe I'm a little bit biased because I've always been a Tour de Force fan. I liked his win back in October. I didn't think he was embarrassed in the Dickey Small in November. I did not like his race 2 starts back, but I think a 1-turn mile is not what he wants. He's a big hulking horse that to me really wants ground. And in the Excelsior, he kind of attacked early to take over the race 3 furlongs from home, and then he kind of just grinded it out, only beaten a length. I thought it was a sneaky good performance for Rudy, and if he can control the pace here, I think he's got a shot. I think he's going to stretch out.
Yeah, if I liked him in here, I would want them to try to make the lead with him and see if he could do it that way. I agree with you. I thought his Excelsior was good. To me, it was a step forward on what he had been doing. I guess the one thing that holds me back a little with him is that he was first off the claim for Rudy in the Excelsior. That's when you really want these horses. Rudy first off the claim, dirt routers. It's an unbelievable statistic and formulator. You should look it up. Rudy second off the claim with dirt routers. That's not nearly as good. So I just wonder if Rudy really had him ready for that one. Now we got to see if he can back it up.
The horse they're all going to have to beat is Rocketry, who once switched to dirt last year and able to stretch out in distance. Ran some big races. I think he broke Man of War's track record in the Temperance Hill. 3 starts back, going 13 furlongs. Was extremely game, taking down a nice horse in Dabster in the marathon. And while he was bet to 6-5 in his seasonal debut at Gulfstream, I thought he had a lot of things going against them.
I do too, Dan. I mean, I look at that skip away and just feel like when you go through the race from start to finish, what chance did he have? To me, he had no chance in that race. Not that he ran great, but just immediately outrun to last. They're walking on the lead in front of him. He just could never get involved into the race. I'm not holding that race against him. He runs either one of his first 2 dirt starts, he wins this race.
He's going to get the distance he needs. Jimmy Jerkins historically does very well second off the layoff. I would expect a peak performance from Rocketry. 4 Warren scored last time out down at Parks. It was a non-winners of 2 other race. It was almost a career best buyer speed figure of 84. It looks like this horse is in career form for Uriah St. Louis, but he's just going to have to do better.
Yeah, he has to improve. Even though he is seemingly in the best form of his life, he's going to have to do better than that. I also, I worry about how far he wants to go to them. They tried, I know it was for his prior connections when they stretched him out to 1.25 miles twice previously, but he didn't run well in those races. The race right before they stretched him out, he won. The race right after they stretched him out, he won. So I don't know if you can just say he wasn't in good form at that time. I felt like the distance didn't work for him.
Todd Pletcher's Marconi, once a $2 million yearling and kin to Mucho Macho Man. When we were following him as a 2-year-old when he was briefly on the trail at 3, we thought distance is what he wanted. Heck, he won his maiden at 9 furlongs. Went away for a long time, came back in a little race going a mile where he didn't get a lot of pace against a sharp horse in Bourbon Resolution and tried a wide move. Last time out in the skipaway, he got the right trip, getting the jump on the layoff runner Rocketry into the stretch. I think the distance is going to be fine for him. I'm still waiting for him to run a fast race.
Yeah, that's how I feel about him too. I don't mind them stretching him out at all because I think he's going to like it. And I do like that he took a step forward last time, second off the layoff, even though he got a much better trip than Rocketry did. He did take a step forward in that race. I think he's going to have to improve a lot to beat Rocketry this time, but I'm interested to see what he does with more distance.
Let's take a look at our top pick for Thursday's DRFBets race of the day, the flat out stakes. You're going with Rocketry in here. He is simply the horse to beat. Using anybody else?
Yeah, I picked, maybe I use a little twisted Tom just because I want to see what he does stretching out. I went 5-2-4. I
think you made an excellent point, and I think the folks should go into Formulator. You get the free past performances with the race of the day, race every day, about Rudy second off the claim in dirt routes, not as good as first off the claim. I'm hoping that stat is just wrong for this one. I like Tour de Force getting to the lead. Again, I think he's going to get the distance. He's just a big grindy horse. They forget about Tour de Force. Maybe he can make them pay. I'll go 4-1-7-5 in the $100,000 flat out stakes, the feature race at Belmont on Thursday, and the DRFBets race of the day. Remember to bet it with a DRFBets account. Bet $7 to win on any selection in any race of the day this month. If your selection runs second or third, you get your money back. Approximate post time for the flat out, 6:46 Eastern. Good luck.